Hey, this is Isaac. I just want to go over my personal portfolio website that I've been working on using Svelte version 4. Here is the website that I've made. You can scroll down. You can see that these parts animate, and we have a list of skills with kind of the progress/mastery on them. And then we scroll down more and we have different projects that I've been working on and things like that. And it's just a very basic site, and we use Daisy UI on this site as well as Tailwind, because of course Daisy UI uses Tailwind kind of behind the scenes to a degree at least. So here we have the site. You can see that the buttons take us to the different places, and we can dive into the code right here, and we have routes, and our main homepage is right here. You can see that I use this custom component named Nice Fade. This is what really does the nice fade animation effect on the website. You can see if we refresh the page, this hero section fades in nicely, and so that's why I named this component Nice Fade. If we click into this component, you can see this is a custom component that I made along with help from GitHub Copilot, and it uses the intersection observer, which is built into JavaScript, in order to tell if the element is visible on the page, and then if it is, it toggles this variable visible to true, and that makes the element, which is here in this slot, is any element which is inside our nice fade component. So you can see like all this stuff right here. This would then become visible when it comes into view, which is really cool. And one thing that I learned from this is we can use bind this, and we can bind it to this variable right here, which I could make into a better typing instead of any right here for TypeScript. But that allows us to refer to this element in the intersection observer instead of having to generate an ID and use a query selector that uses more basic JavaScript in order to select that element. So that's really cool. We have this delay variable or prop that we have defined here, and that allows us to set custom delays for the fade and animation. And I don't believe we're using the fade in many cases. Oh, we're using the delay right here, it looks like. And you can see those Daisy UI classes right here, which give us that nice styling for the different elements as well. So this project also uses a custom font, which is nice, and I learned how to do that. If we go to the layout.svelte, we can see that we import the font right here from Font Source. Font Source is a pretty cool website that has just a bunch of fonts on it and has good instructions for installing into Svelte. And if we go down into our app.css, we can see that we just defined the font family to the font we imported, and that's how we're just using the font in the project. So we're using the Svelte head component right here to render the title and meta tag for the description, and this is good for SEO, so that search engines can render our site properly on the search results and crawl our site properly as well. Nothing much to see in most of these files here. I do have a constants file that is a little messy, but this is where I define all the different things such as projects and skills, and I'm trying to make it so that we can add skills to the projects, and that kind of determines how much progress or how much mastery we've had in that skill on a per project basis. But that's a little bit more advanced and something that I'm still working on. So we have a few components here. One is the progress card. You can see that this takes in a item which has either name, progress, description, and href, which is just like a link to a site, for example. And you can see if we have a link, we will render this in a tag, which will allow it to be clickable, and will show a mouse cursor as well. But if we do not have the href, then we'll just render it without the a tag. But we can click in to see this progress card main, and this takes in a few variables. We're not actually using all of them here, but here we have a few different things. We have a if statement right here, which renders a link using Iconify, which is pretty cool. It's a nice package that has over 200,000 icons, and we're able just to use those in our Svelte project pretty easily, and they have nice configuration options on their website, on the Iconify website. And we have a few things in here that kind of need to be cleaned up, so ignore that for now. But we're using Daisy UI yet again to render these, like the card body, card title, for example, and different things like this, and this progress bar as well. So this is really cool, and it's a pretty nice and simple component. It can definitely be cleaned up a little bit, but I'll probably focus on that later. And then we have the skills section, which just renders the list of items we get from the props here with a delay times 200. And this takes the index of the items. So the first item is, for example, 1 times 200. The second item is then 200 times, or 2 times 200 for the delay. So it adds that nice staggering effect when you scroll over the list on the website. For example, on here, they kind of render in one after the other. So that's pretty cool. And this is one of my first Svelte websites as well, so it's been a really cool learning experience. I have done a few different courses on Svelte, but this is my first deployed application, which I'm pretty happy with. And it is deployed using Cloudflare pages, which is pretty nice and cool. I had some problems with Yarn, where for some reason it was using Yarn version 2 on Cloudflare, but not my computer, so I kind of synced that up properly so they're both using the same one. But you can see that we're using the Cloudflare adapter in here, and yeah, there's not much else to note. I am using the Tailwind CSS typography plugin as well with Daisy UI, so that gives us some cool functionalities there as well. Overall, I hope you enjoy this overview of my portfolio website. It's probably something that I'm going to be building out continually and adding some new features to. It's very simple at this moment, but I hope this video was insightful and that you maybe even possibly learned something new from it. So with that, hope you have a great day and see you later.